Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Free Project Friday Live with the Foundry VTT dev team. We've got a bunch of nerds here, ready to unleash
and others.
Ready to unleash our nerddom upon thee. We've been cooking up some fun features. Free Project Friday, for those of you who are uninitiated, is a ritual that we have on the Foundry team, where we take one day, usually just one day a month. Now I'll asterisk that for a moment. Usually one day a month, where we come together and we spend that day working on a topic of our own choosing, something that we are personally excited about and motivated about, something that we would like to be doing, and we spend the day working on that, and then we get together as a team to do a demo of what we created. This time, we don't usually stream them. It's usually kind of behind closed doors, but someone says, are you supposed to be seeing a large play button in the middle of the stream? No.
I'm not
I don't
seeing
see
a
that.
large play button in the middle of the stream.
Okay. Anyways, normally we don't stream them, but for anniversary celebration, we are doing a live stream of our Free Project Friday, so that you can all see our crazy mad science creations, our joy, our shame, our embarrassment when the demo doesn't go the way we want, our anger and rage, and the whole gamut of human emotion that is undoubtedly going to occur over the coming hours. We're gonna leave it all on the stream. We're committed. And so we'll be going through and demoing what we've been up to. I said normally Free Project Friday is a one day a month kind of thing. We did cheat a little bit because we knew we were going to do this for anniversary week. So we've let people plan ahead a little bit and work on their FPF, as we call it, their FPF demos for a little while, a couple days over the past month. So these demos are maybe a little more polished, maybe a little more refined than you would typically see in our monthly FPF, but just so that I'm not like falsely promising a certain level of like, oh, you're going to see these kinds of new features all the time or whatever. It does take work to come up with these demos. And we've been working on it for a couple days rather than just one. But we've each been putting something together that we think is fun and interesting and something that is exciting to us and something that we were feeling passionate to work on. So we'll go through and we'll start with a round of introductions so you can all put faces and names together. And when we are done with that round of intro, we'll get into our first demo for the day. So as part of your introduction, so we'll go in clockwise order from top left, which will mean Nath first. And as part of your introduction, give one cryptic sentence that mysteriously teases what you are going to be demoing. Go.
Hi, I'm Nath, or Shane, or Anathema. You guys know me as the community manager for Foundry Virtual Tabletop. I'm going to be demoing terrible ideas to help players learn how to use Foundry.
Uh-huh. Terrible ideas. I like it. I'm Andrew, creator of Foundry VTT, Crucible, Ember, stuff. I will be demoing the application of fire to things and people. Over to you, Eber.
Nice. Hey everyone, I'm Eber, one of the developers here, working mostly on scene regions, talk movement, measurements, and stuff like that. And yeah, I also smell something burning.
There may or may not be a common theme. We'll see. Kim, over to you.
I am Kim. I'm one of the core software developers. I also lead the development of the D&D 5e system implementation on Foundry. And I don't have anything cryptic. Pass on the improvisation. There's I'm doing 4 different things, and they're all different.
That's pretty cryptic on its own.
A
break a leg.
quadrature
Or break a leg.
of mystery.
Right.
The fourfold intrigue. Shark, down to you.
Hi, I'm Richard, or I guess you can't really pronounce the acronym or initial expansion, but
Stwillam.
yeah.
Stwillam.
Once Andrew called it Saint Willem, and
I
said,
did.
yeah,
I
that
did. At one point, I did think you were a sainted, a holy apostle of the devout, Saint William, here to bless us with your technical innovation. I still think that, but now you just have fins also.
Yes. I'm also a developer, and I will be sharing nothing. I'm actually just a stagehand today, so.
We'll put you to work somehow. All right, over to Dan.
I am Dan, otherwise known as Nork, the guy with a squirrel avatar. I do customer support, documentation, that sort of stuff. I am not a developer, so I play in the kiddie pool end of Free Project Friday, and I'm a bit concerned about all the references to fire, to be honest. So we'll see how this goes. My cryptic tease is... there's a thing that probably shouldn't be done in Foundry, and I love to do it anyway. It's my windmill that I quest at, and it's lots of fun. So I look forward to sharing it.
Nice. Sir Matt.
And I'm Matt XD. I do our publisher relationships and also some content conversion stuff, and recently some videos. And my cryptic messages, I'm going to be sharing things with people that never asked for it, but hopefully they'll enjoy it anyway.
Unsolicited impartation of information.
Nothing bad, though.
Last, but certainly not least, Ludovic.
Hello everyone, my name is Ludovic, or Secret Fire if you prefer, and I'm one of the developers of the Foundry team. It's all about graphics, visual things, and sprites and things like that. I'm also working on a lot of Ember these times. My cryptic hint is in my alias. You know, Secret Fire.
Oh no, not another one.
So,
Burning all
yeah.
of the demos, burminating the Foundry.
I should have worn my Trogdor shirt today. I just got one.
All right.
You actually got a Trogdor.
We'll
Yeah,
have
they
to
recently.
see whose flame burns the brightest. Yeah, we'll hash that out as we get through our demos today. So I think to kick us off, Kim, you are going to be getting the ball rolling, and so feel free to start your presentation at will, and I'll adjust the screen share.
Sure. Yeah.
Just a quick note: we got a heads up from chat that Eber's volume is very high.
Adjusted.
Okay. All right. Let me know when that's
Cool.
running.
Yes, I've got it.
Yeah, I want initiative. So I've been doing a little bit. Yeah, like I said, a grab bag of stuff. There's some levels focused things, which I think is an obvious theme because V14 just came out. So I've been doing some levels related stuff. The first one I'm going to demo is one you may have seen already if you tuned into the House Divided stream. So we'll just show that off. So we've got Cephras here, who's dueling a guard who's chasing them up onto the chapel roof. I don't know why. There's not even any access to this roof. But Cephras has repelling blast. And so the guard's days are unfortunately numbered. He's been yeeted off the roof with the repelling blast, and then we'll plummet him down to the ground, taking the full 46 fall damage. So this one, like the forced movement, is something I kind of wired up for the demo as like an activity, but it probably wouldn't end up this way. But the falling code is pretty good. That'll probably come in 6.0. Forced movement, maybe not. You see that again? We'll unprone this guy. Do just a demo. Throw them all off the roof. Plummet them all one by one. See that again?
Yes. Sweet, glorious violence.
I thought it was pretty fake too.
So for the next, that's demo number 1. A little
Make
bit,
sure to
and this
point out
wasn't done.
the visual side of it that you added.
Oh, sure, yeah. So you can see that if we like Control Z and they're hovering again, you can see that they're slightly taller. We've got a little bit of perspective on there. If you go down the levels and get closer to them, you see that there you go. We got some perspective shift. So that's demo number 1, and that was not actually even done. That was like done last Free Project Friday. I think there was a request to show it. So
you did do something with this for this Free Project Friday, though. Do you want to tease that?
I did port it to another system. I did spend some time doing that this Free Project Friday. That's true. So this is D&D implementation, and it's pretty good.
Did you actually manage to get it through pull review? I heard that the maintainers over there are like fucking jackasses.
well, the system that I was, it eventually got merged. I think. I don't know. I don't remember seeing the email. But yeah. Next. So next demo is more levels related stuff, and we can do it on this scene. We gotta go to night though. Gotta transition to nighttime. This one I haven't spent a lot of time testing a lot of these. So it's a demo, so we'll see. This stuff happens sometimes. Okay, so we've got Perrin. You may have noticed him. He's sneaking around over here. But he's a halfling. He doesn't have dark vision, so he's going to have to light a torch. Now, torch macros are probably the first module ever made for Foundry, so they're nothing special. But for V14, I've kind of like tried to do like a V14 version. So this is using the like active effect, the token active effects, which is probably the way you want to do it now. So he's got a torch applied to him with the token active effects now. So this is, and you can you can like remove it. It just works via the active effect now, which is pretty seamless. But he actually wants to see where he's sneaking to. So I also added a little bit of extra functionality, and this is levels related, as you'll see in a moment. So he's going to throw his torch, also hooked up in the system. He's going to throw it over here, and it's landed on this surface here. It's landed on the roof. So just clear that up. And so, for example, if you wanted to throw it, it's torch lit. If you wanted to throw it down here into the courtyard, that would also work. So he's going to chuck it down here now, and you can see that it's fallen down onto the surface of the courtyard. He is bounded by these walls. It's on the correct level and everything. So this is similar tech to what I was doing with the falling, where we can like we know what surfaces are sort of below a given point and can fall down to them. So that's mostly Eber's hard work. Like I was just using the API. This is like the get surfaces, seeing get surfaces just kind of does all the heavy lifting for you. But you can use it for lots of neat things.
See a question from Laszlo Lessons. Can it light the tree on fire? I think you have to wait for a later demo.
Yeah, I think we have one of those coming up, judging by the cryptic hints.
Kim, I have a question for you. This is awesome. So if you were releasing this as a module, would this be better torch or perfect torch? I'm not up to speed on all of the module naming.
Which ones have been taken? Yeah.
Most bestest, perfectest torch.
Insurmountable, superlative torch.
Superlative torch.
Okay, so that's a little bit of active effects, bit of surface stuff, some V14 features, and then I have more demos that are just slightly unrelated. So the next one is not really V14 related. I'll demo in Ember because Ember is the reason that I got this idea in the first place. Hopefully it loads. I've been having a bit of trouble with my Cloudflare tunnel. It might take a moment. So and let's just pray that it actually works, because I haven't tested this one since like the branch has moved on a lot since then. So we'll just see. So this is one of the things that I like in Ember, for example. A lot is driven. I'll try not to have too many spoilers. So this is like chapter 1 stuff. So it's not, hopefully not spoiling too much, but a lot is driven by the journals. It's very beautiful journals, very very sophisticated, lots of functionality in them, and you often have to, especially when running an event, you have to flick through different journals quite a lot, especially for example like one like this that has an associated scene with it. So like it will tell you to load up the area walkthrough alongside it. As a forest of stone, isn't it? Is it this one? Yeah. Tell you to load up. So you've got a couple of journals, and then you're going through them and like, oh, I need to go back to the one that I previously had, and I always out of habit use my mouse thumb buttons, and that just hits like the browser back button. And it's just a habit of mine because I'm used to using the thumb buttons to navigate websites. So I thought I'd hook it up to the journals, so you can't see, but I'm pressing my thumb buttons now, and
flawless victory.
Flawless. It's been a while since I looked at this one, so I don't know what's happened to the code. I might have to come back to that one, but I promise you they're hooked up.
If it's any reassurance, I'll remind everyone that no one paid for any of this. This is free Project Friday, okay? Not premium Project Friday. So you know, just to get ahead of any ruthless attacks from the horrible people in chat who are just gonna like.
I'll switch to my next demo, which I know definitely works because I tested it 5 minutes ago, and then maybe I'll cut in at someone else's demo to do the journals again. Let me just.
I do like the idea though. I feel like the premise of what you're getting at there seems good.
Yeah. So the idea is basically it kind of keeps a history of your the journals that you've opened and navigated to, and then you can use the thumb button to navigate them. And it's quite tricky actually, especially in Firefox, which does not emit pointer down events for the thumb buttons at all. It just doesn't. So it's very awkward to get.
Why would they do such a thing?
I did. Yeah. Okay. Next demo. So this one is the Tomb of Annihilation. Again, sorry, hopefully not too many spoilers. It's a very old module. I'll try to keep the spoilers to a minimum, but it will require a little bit. If you've been to the Tomb of the Nine Gods, you will know that there are a coven of hags called the Sown Sisters, and they are night hags, and they hang out on the ethereal plane. So this is another sort of levels-based demo. When we were designing the API, we specifically sort of left the demo, like the levels functionality, open-ended so that you could have like this overlapping level. So it's not really a level in the sense of elevation. It's just an overlapping alternative view onto the scene, and it's quite useful, especially the material plane. So, for example, what I've done with the ethereal plane. What I've done with the ethereal plane, like we have this material plane, and you can see that it can't see into the ethereal plane, but on the border ethereal, it can see into the material plane. And similarly, like all of the walls, for example, they're only on the material plane. So if you're in the ethereal plane, they're not walls to you. So you can just walk straight through them, which is, sort of rules as written, unless someone does something like cast a wall of force, and then it would be on both planes, right? So you can have that really good interaction with the rules there that is enabled by the new levels. So there's a coven of hags hanging out in the ethereal plane. We've got Xana here, and for those of you who know the module, I know you can't walk through the walls in the ethereal plane in the actual tomb, but for demo purposes. So we've got Xana here. She's a 17th level wizard because she needs to be able to cast the spell. You probably wouldn't be 17th level in the tomb. So she's going to cast etherealness and transport herself into the ethereal plane. So she gets the ethereal. And there she is on the ethereal plane. And she can see the Sown Sisters are right there. And they've been watching the whole time, doing, I don't know, whatever hags do.
And I also hearing like a deep whispering sound.
Yeah, we're on the ethereal plane.
Yeah, of course.
And you can see like her allies can't see her anymore. She's gone. But she can see them. And she can see everything, in fact, because there's no walls. She can walk straight through all of the walls, go wherever she wants, and she can reappear at any time back into the material plane. So yeah, that some questions. That is a level transition. That's right. We just transitioned to the border ethereal on the token. Very similar to just doing this, but it's driven by the ethereal status effect. And then for the demo, I also wrote like a custom shader. And I say I wrote a custom shader. It's only about 50 lines, and it's mostly lifted from the morph shader that exists already. But this is a custom shader for the ethereal plane.
Awesome. Yeah, it might be fun to, I mean, you may already be doing this, I don't know, but like with the etherealness status, it that like automates this transition, but you never quite know when someone's going to cast that spell, and you might not necessarily have like prepared an ethereal plane level in your scene ahead of time. Like you could even like bootstrap on demand an ethereal plane level that sort of like copies the current level.
Because you would just emit the walls, right? like
Yeah,
that's
you could have some sort of
well-defined
algorithm
logic.
like to basically like take your current level and make the ethereal version of it like on demand. You know, in the event that you didn't anticipate etherealness being part of the script for the session or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think you'd probably have to do something like that, unless you want to spend double the amount of prep time on every single map, just in case someone casts it. Yeah, or maybe you can just use a filter. I'm not sure.
The visual effect, are you doing it with like a scene wide light source, or are you doing it with like a bit of JavaScript code that attaches a filter, or like what was your approach?
Yeah. So this is a canvas ready hook,
Okay.
and it just adds a filter to one of the layers. I forget which one. The one that does just lighting and map and not
So you can like
other elements, right?
flag the layer or something like this is an ethereal plane layer, or
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, this has a flag. It has a D&D 5e ethereal flag on this level. Yeah, that's right.
This is one of
So
these
yeah,
really
that's the
cool
ethereal
features
plane.
that like once we, it's like, I'm sure honestly a lot of our Free Project Friday demos end up being like this, because a lot of times we end up with like, oh, we've got thing like A, B, C all now in the core software, and there's just this like low-hanging fruit opportunity to like glue them together and make something really awesome with pieces that we've already like got on hand.
That's certainly what I did.
That's right. Yeah. I'm gluing together a lot of stuff. Like obviously the work on get surfaces is good. And then a lot of this, like the scene transitions, are what had the morph shader in that I was able to use a lot of to do this. Yeah. So well, that was demo number. Let me check here. Done. Okay. Right. Next one. The last one, and then I'll try to fix my journal issue and jump in again at someone else's. So this one.
We've got a request that Amber's mic volume
I think I just
come up
need
a
to
little bit.
speak into it a little bit more. I was kind of leaning back.
Close that. Okay, good. So the next one is maybe like a preview for 14.5. I don't know. One of my FPFs a long time ago was to do like a launcher, and so I sort of dusted that off and I'm working on a launcher. So I'll just boot it up and you can hopefully see it. This is just an Electron app. So you can see it sort of bootstraps itself. That's using like Electron Builder's own self-updater.
That UI looks so clean, Kim.
Thanks. I mean, thank you. It's mainly based off the setup screen, right? Just reusing a lot of the design elements from there. So the launcher itself self-updates, so it doesn't have the problem that we have with Foundry where it can't sort of update itself. It uses Electron Builder's like it's like completely. So a lot of time was spent just researching how we would actually do this and doing the UI. The rest of it is just demo. Like it's not hooked up to anything. These are just made up numbers. So the idea would be that you can keep a self-isolated version of Foundry, just very similar to how the Windows Portable install works. It's just its own self-isolated version that stays at one version of Foundry. You can have all of your modules at specific, like your like house of cards of modules that you've managed to assemble precariously, just the way you like them. You can keep it there. You can run your game in that world. You can run that world, and you can keep separate instances. Maybe you need, like for example, like maybe Lancer doesn't support version 14, but you need version 14 for your D&D game, and then like you're in this quandary where you can't update your system, but you need to update your system, and so now you can just sort of keep them all separate and keep everything isolated. And the launcher will launch, Foundry for you. You can see like there's me. This is just the Electron app. It's launched into my normal version. I can kill it from here, I suppose. That works. That part was something I was interested in seeing how it would work, so I hooked that bit up as well. And you can create your own like profiles, and the idea is that it will download the version for you, and just set up a separate sort of profile for it, and then you can activate it and launch it.
Speaking on behalf of the user base, everyone is going to be very excited to see if this becomes a real thing.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Hopefully.
We definitely teased.
Hopefully,
we definitely teased this direction as part of our year in review article, and I just didn't know that you'd actually like gone and done it, Kim. This is incredible. Obviously, there's more to do, I'm sure, but yeah, fantastic start on this. This is so. This
is just sort of nailing down the UI, and trying to work out how we would actually do it. And the fact that Electron Builder has like a self-updater actually made things really easy. So like there was one thing that I wasn't sure about, which was how do we update the updater, and it's solved. So that's good.
That's awesome. I was also wondering about how we were going to do that, but
yeah. So there you go. Some UI for hopefully 14.5 maybe.
Yeah, this is awesome. Like this. So good. Very clean too. Really looks like easy to use and great. You clearly didn't get the memo about free Project Friday rather than for Project Friday, but I guess I didn't define the acronym.
Okay, I'm gonna debug this journal thing because it's bothering me, and hopefully I can jump in later. Thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, that was amazing, Kim. Great work.
Thank you.
Good start to proceedings. Strong start. All right. Without further ado, next up we are going to get into some gaming goodness with Dan.
Yes, indeed, that is the case. I really appreciate you stretching there by doing a bazillion awesome things. That was very, very much so appreciated. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch some of them because I was frantically bondoing and duct taping a couple of things together. So we will see how this goes. But yeah, hopefully no fire. And I have a world that is up, and you are welcome to join me, Andrew, and by proxy, all of you, in this location.
Okay. I have to do a thing.
You have to do a thing. Yeah. So there was the world joining thing.
Where do without putting it on stream, where do I go to see what I need to do?
I will refresh this behind the scenes here. So sorry about that. In the meantime, let's do some tap dancing. Yeah.
Just a reminder to everyone in chat, we're going to be doing a giveaway sometime during this stream. You don't have to do anything to sign up except be logged into Twitch so that your name appears on the Twitch chat list.
Thank you for that word from our sponsors.
Okay, and should I be a player or a GM2 or what is the...
We'll have you be... I'm going to duck off and you can be admin host here. So we'll see. Or player... We'll do player 1. He can have you as player 1. I'll duck out of that one.
I am player 4.
Oh, if you're player 4. I was wondering what player 4 was doing in here.
All right, let's do this. Let me switch over here. Player 1 is logged in. Does it matter? Should I just...
I'm everybody. Go grab admin host. We'll do that one.
Okay. You'll need to give me a password for that, Dan. You're really giving me the
It was in
runaround here.
it was in the post.
Okay, all right.
That
All right.
was provided. We're off to a great start, folks.
We're getting reports that video has been lost, although I'm still
No,
seeing
I don't
us
think so. It
in-
was temporary because I had to switch my windows to get this set up. I'm pretty sure we're good now, but we'll keep an eye on chat.
All right. So if you're logging in, let me know when you have arrived.
All right. Yes, I have arrived. I am in a mystical land.
A mystical land. Yes, it's not quite clear what's happening here. I don't think we have some hexes. I don't know. I like hexes. We all like hexes.
Yes.
So the second thing I did upon getting Foundry, the first thing I did was I started making my game. The second thing I wanted to do was to play a board game that we all know and love, but I won't reference by name. It rhymes with Atan, so the reason for this was my gaming group, whenever we couldn't meet, would play Settlers of Catan to actually meet in person. So this is why this gaming group has managed to meet unbroken since 1977, I think, on a weekly basis every Monday. It's still going. I moved away, but it persists. So when we weren't there, we played a game, and it was always Catan. So during the pandemic, I had to play Catan, and it had to be through Foundry. So through version 9 on, I've been doing that. So I will show you the previous incarnation here. If we'll activate, you may remember this from last year's Free Project Friday live. I was showing off some of the stuff that I had done. The game that we have created is Founders of Ember, not to be confused with any other similarly named or themed project. And it's just a fun point. What I try to do is I've actually played hundreds of hours of this with people already. And the idea is to sort of demonstrate what's possible with the board game realm with Foundry VTT as opposed to just in the tabletop RPG realm. And I think it's a really fun way of doing that. So one of the challenges about it has been making it work. I've done a lot of janky things, but the overall architecture for Foundry works really well for this, and it's gotten even better with version 14. So we'll cover that. But the last time I showed this, under the hood, the grid. This is a hex game. You think it should have hexes, but no. In my wisdom, I decided to set it up in 25 unit squares, and the reason for that was that all this stuff over here would line up and whatever. But in the process of moving this to V14 and from relocating from my local computer to my dedicated server, I decided to remove some jank on the suggestion of Andrew, and it has gone well. So I'm going to go over to the new version here, the hex demo. I'll activate that, and I believe that should pull you all over. So it's a little bit sleeker, and we have new art assets as well that are actually hex-shaped, as opposed to almost hex-shaped, but being off by a couple of pixels in every meaningful direction in a way that ended up being really bad. So thanks to Anathema, he was able to use his actual artistic abilities to use the artwork from Ember, which is why it's Founders of Ember. This is Kaor's work. Go ahead.
Let's not lie. It was no artistic abilities. It's just a little bit of Photoshop skills and the awesome artwork of Kaora.
Yes, well, that is true. Hey, beveling is impressive to me, so it is much happier now. But we have our... this is a fairly functional Founders of Ember game board at the moment in V14. I could run it with some caveats, and here's the part where I'm going to make Andrew's head spin. So I made it for hexes, but I didn't get grid snapping working. Instead, there is some really janky offsets for anchor points. So you get to guess where the token actually is based on the image that it has there. So that's kind of fun, but we'll get that taken care of in a little bit. But so the idea is that we can play everything. All these are tokens. So the reason why I made them tokens, that was the other sort of controversial thing about this, is that tokens have a lot of new abilities in V14, and that notably you can attach regions to them. And with regions, you can do a lot of stuff for free. You can see other tokens that are in the regions and the like. So now we're going to go back over to our previous original screen, the region fun zone. And we'll talk a little bit about how all of this is working. So the idea with a lot of online games is that it's very hard coded, and that was my previous implementation. My previous version would automatically set the board and do all those other things, but here you can actually have a city that knows what's near it. So with an embedded region there, I can go ahead and grab my city. You can see that in the middle of the top left hex in this area is where the handle for the token actually is. So I apologize for the migraine headache right there, Andrew. But it does nicely put the city where it needs the intersection to be. So I can move it onto the board, and the region will grab the actual hexes, and it's very easy to create the appropriate sized region now that the units are actually, board hex squares. So I can just have that be grid shaped and pull that over, and then I will know exactly what tokens are contained in my region. I will know the number tokens here that are contained in the region. And so by using the embedded regions property of the token, then you can see what's there. Or, sorry, I got that backward. The invisible tokens property of the region, I think it is.
Yeah,
yes,
that's right. Then
you can automatically do that. So you can find out what's near it. You can filter it to the type of thing. You can filter it to the land hexes that are nearby, the number hexes, and you have all the information that you need without having to code anything, really, just due to the built-in hard work of Eber. And an super important thing in board games is what tokens are near other tokens. And with that, it's sort of the fundamental thing that drives pretty much everything in terms of a board game. So the engine is more or less free to do exactly that. So for instance, super silly little demo, I have the robber here. The robber, I can move it into the token. There's a region embedded to this hex here. So if I put in, then, oh no, it's the robber. There's just a behavior that's add there. That's a token enter, and it would ideally check to see if the thing moving in is the robber. But in this case, it's just thinks anything's a robber. And yeah, so you can call code from that, and so much of what you need to do to automate something is just free with embedded regions and all of Eber's hard work. So I was taking advantage of that and looking forward to doing more with it. That's sort of the gist of it. I've been ranting for a while.
This is very cool. I'm hesitant to ask. I just want to make sure I'm not maybe showing the wrong thing on stream. Is it expected that there's a bunch of black hexes?
Oh, yes. This is my test area here.
All right. Just making sure that I wasn't somehow
I'll come back over to the actual
sort of
board
bug.
here. So this is, I had spent a lot of, so a lot of the work was doing the infrastructure to get set up to do the interesting thing I wanted to show off here. So I didn't want to break it immediately before the stream. So I made like a little sandbox area for me to mess around with.
Safely
I'll come back
working
over to
demo.
the actual.
Yeah.
Right. I'll come back over to the actual, like this is what the game board is.
Like
I just grabbed
board.
the top left corner over here. And that's what the whole thing is. It's just, it all works just a lot better. I had drawings labeling all the different ports. And whenever they were randomized, I had to rechange the drawings manually. And now they're just labels for the actual tokens, and they are correct and they move around. And
that's nice.
There's just a lot that works better now. And right now, my automation for laying out the board is broken, but there is a set of cards that you can use to, if you go into the card stacks there's administrative and land tiles. So the way you do that is you shuffle the land tiles and then place them down in that order manually. So right now, it'd be the same process as if you were at a table, you'd actually lay out the tiles. And the neat thing about that is that it gives the freedom of doing it manually. So if you lay down, the idea is you lay out the tile, and then didn't get it done in time, have on a hook that creates the region automatically for the token. And so as you lay it out, it builds its own automation, and then, you're just good to go. So you can build the map whatever you want. You can have any layout, and, you can have the hex tiles over there, and it will all make some sense. So
Very
that's
cool stuff.
the general idea. Now, the other kind of cool thing about this is it's all powered by, and this was the true in V13. Again, I'm borrowing from the legwork of other people, but there's the team over at Metamorphic. They have something called Universal Tabletop System, which is the engine that powers this. So I don't have to make my own system, and other board game creators could do the same thing. And take advantage of a lot of stuff ready to go. And all the core engine for this was updated for me for V14. UTS updated, the creative complete card management was updated already. So you're able to do quite a lot without a whole lot of coding, as evidenced by I didn't do a whole lot of coding in order to get this going. If you go to the scene regions layer on this map, Andrew, and then go to the placeables tab.
Yep, got it.
So there is a region that is the entire screen that is a canvas drop region.
Mm-hmm.
So down here at the bottom, there are actually the card decks that are laid out. I'm not sure how much of you know anything about Catan. I kind of assume a baseline knowledge here that perhaps I shouldn't. But there are different resource types, and you gather these resources and then you spend them. And you can spend them by dropping them into the board, and then automatically go to the discard pile for you.
I don't know
or
this
you can
game
drop
you're
them
talking about, but I play Founders of Ember often.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Founders of Eber, yes, my bad. Yes, please don't sue. Yes. Anyway, you can drop this down in the general board area. It goes to discard pile, but in the individual regions for the players. So these are the game pieces, and you can have a fun little avatar. If you drop them onto that, you can actually have draw the card. So I'll do I'll attempt a little demo of that here. So do you have, you should have macros down on your hotbar there. One of them should be open admin host hand. Andrew.
Yeah, I have that. Should I click it?
Sure. You should have your hand there. You can draw in the hand.
Something is wrong.
Oh, possibly, yeah. I don't know what's going on.
It seems to be kind of an empty window that's frozen that I can't do anything with. But that may be intended. I'm not familiar with what the UX is supposed to be.
What if
So I'll deal
Andrew
you
and Dan switch roles? We get Andrew into a player account and Dan into the host account.
I could possibly do that. Let me just go ahead and...
We've got a rock solid demo plan here for you folks. We've rehearsed this.
Absolutely. Yes.
I'll vamp a little more while you guys switch user accounts and talk about how we have a giveaway coming up after Eber and Ludovic do their showcase. Just a reminder to Twitch chat that you don't need to do anything to enter the giveaway. All you have to do is be signed in. Was that enough time?
So I've logged out as the...
Okay, who am I logging in as?
You can log in as player one, please.
Player one, okay. I don't know, is it... Okay, yes.
We probably should have spent a couple of minutes planning this out a little bit more detail.
Hey, you never know. It's
I'm
Free
logged
Project
in as
Friday.
Player
If
one.
we didn't do it on the fly.
We were promised spectacle
not a
and
normal
fire,
FPS.
and by God, if we're not going to deliver, right?
That's right.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself some cards, and then I can drop them onto the board, and they'll either show up for the on the board as being discarded, or I can give it to go to Andrew directly. So I have drawn myself some bricks that should show up in the chat log there, and I can drop that on the board, and you can see a brick. It's on the discard pile, so I'm sort of spending my brick to build a thing. And then if I drop it in a different part of the board, specifically Andrew's area, this white player over here, the beholder, fun little icon, and the different bits are there. If I drop onto their zone, whoop,
I see.
Enormous, the brick of all bricks, but it goes to his hand. So, which you should be able to.
Yeah,
view.
I've got it. I'm showing my hand at the bottom of the screen.
Good. Yeah, so the comedically large brick is a side effect of going from a 25 hex grid to a much larger one. So the original brick was, I think, 9 by 13 in its grid size, and now it's not. No, I think it's 1 by 2. So, but yeah, if you pop open well, actually, you wouldn't be able to see the region controls as much now. But anyway, the way that this goes is that the entire board is one big region, and that has the allocate card behavior assigned to it from the complete card management module. So if you drop a card onto that region, it goes to whatever hand it's linked to. And what I did was I cut out holes for the particular areas where they belong to the individual players. So if you drop it onto their area, then it goes to their hand instead. And it's just a really easy way of having all of that go to different places, and you can physically pick up and put down cards in a way that, again, works in a way that doesn't require specific automation or specific code. You can just draw cards and put them places, and they do things. I do have a little macro here I'm going to click to tidy up the board, and it removes everything for the giant card. I'm not sure why it didn't do that one, but anyway. I think on that note,
I think that's just clearing the discard pile. It's not clearing things that's in somebody's hand.
Yes.
So like if
there is a card layer with a clear cards button. Oh, if I click that, it'll delete my decks.
You would need to reset my player hand, I think, in order to.
Yes, we're still doing a couple of little tidy up there.
Of course.
Anyway, that is the general gist of it. For all of the weird little things and quirks, it works much better than you would think to play Founders of Ember in Foundry. That the same building blocks are used to do TTRPG stuff, to have tokens and cards and randomizing things. It can be used to build a game quite nicely. And if you have the right assets and you can define a couple of regions that are attached to tokens, you can build most games fairly easily. And it's something I'm looking forward to exploring a bit more as time goes. And yeah, I'm having a good time messing around with stuff.
Awesome. Very nice. Thanks for the demo, Dan. Well done. Good stuff. Excited to see some of these possibilities of what can be done in Foundry. And I really hope that like some board game or wargaming developers might start to think about Foundry in the future as like a place to give a digital version of their product. It's something that's definitely an untapped frontier. I totally agree with you that like the VTT can do almost everything that a board game needs it to do. So there's like a lot of potential there, maybe.
I look forward to showing something a little bit more polished in terms of what the regions can actually do.
Yeah.
In the near future. So
yeah,
but it's a lot of possibilities, and I'm having fun poking around with things.
All right. So next up, we have. Is it Eber and Ludovic next? I think so. Oh boy. All right.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Eber and Ludovic, and then after that, we'll take a intermission and do our giveaway and whatnot, and then we've got more demos after that. So Eber and Ludovic, you are up next. Remind me, is this a screen share, or is this I'm joining a world, or?
It is a screen share.
Okay. I've got it.
Here it is. And Eber, you can direct me.
Yes. So earlier I said I smell something burning, and yeah, it is unfortunately this wooden cabin here.
Fucking
It is
forest cabin again. And this time you've set
It is,
fire
yeah.
to it?
well, not me.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh.
Ludovic left the fireplace on, so it's totally not my fault. Yes.
Burn it all down.
So Ludovic, if you select our poor Randall, that is, who's now homeless probably. Yes, you can already see the flames lingering near the walls there. So, I mean, you already saw probably the flames inside. So, but maybe, do we have sound, Ludwig?
Yes.
Yes.
We have sound. Okay,
Yes.
I don't have the sound, but that's okay. So, when Randall is getting closer to the walls, we should start to not only see something, but also hear something.
Oh dear.
Oh no, my home. Ah, my goodness.
Let's see how far the fire has already spread. Maybe we can still save parts of the building.
Should I enter?
Yes. Check the door handles. They might be hot. Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no.
there is smoke.
Already...
Ah. What's happening?
Ah!
Ah.
Yes. So hopefully we did hear a difference between maybe closing and opening the door. So, I mean, that's using, was it a V14 feature, or muffled walls, muffled sound effects. So,
If my
but
memory serves,
there's
I think
no
I think that
audio source, sound, ambient sound source involved in making the scene. It's all regions.
No.
Yes. So maybe we open up the regions layer and have a look at what's new here. So there's two new behaviors. One is the display visual effect behavior, and the other one is play sound effect. So this we don't see probably, this drop down in the screen share.
Yeah, maybe.
don't see the drop down, but you can once you've selected it, we'll see what option you got.
Yeah. So if we take a look at the visual effect behavior, we have some options here. Again, we probably won't be able to see it in this drop down, but we have fire, smoke, what else? Fire, smoke, explosion, and spark. Ludovic came up with these for testing purposes. Of course, there's a lot of aspects to visual effects, right? These are, correct me if I'm wrong, Ludovic, it's all just using our new particles API.
Yes, exactly.
But there's a new thing, and that's we have animated sprites now. So the individual sprites that are being spawned by the particle emitter also animate. So we get these nice flaming particles. Of course, maybe it doesn't really make sense. The fire, if you look closely, it's like spawning in places, then vanishing. So that might not be quite realistic, but we can maybe show one of the other effects.
Yes.
This is not.
We have fire, we can have smoke.
Okay.
So I just need to close here. Yeah. So you can see the smoke. So this is animated sprite mesh. It is a new object which is extending the sprite mesh. But you can put a sprite sheet with a flip book and with texture packer, for example, texture packer is constructing a JSON with all the animations because you are numbering your frames, and it is constructing an animation into a JSON, and when loading it into Pixie with a sprite sheet, then we are reading and understanding this specific patterns, and we can construct a sprite, which is a kind of video, but it is not a video. It is far more performant. It is animated. You can play it, loop it. You can configure the FPS of the animation. So yeah.
Yeah, anyone
So,
who used them.
To
Yeah, go ahead now.
sorry, on behalf of chat and our community, since you mentioned performance, how does the performance of one of these effect regions compare to, say, lights?
It is very fast. This is so it is batched first. So it is important because we are reuniting all the sprite into one batch. And second, this is just a sprite. This is a texture, and into the shader we adjust an offset, according to the synchronicity and timing, and that's as fast as regular sprite.
But of course,
Yeah.
there are a lot of sprites, so it kind of depends how many particles you have, mostly.
Yes, but you can go on thousands of this kind of sprite without too much problems. Yeah, but with video you can't do that. You're limited to a certain number.
Anyone who has used webams,
Yeah.
I think there's
Good
a
luck.
limit. It's like after 10 webams, it's performance is probably going to drop significantly. There's a limit with videos. But yeah, with sprites and sprite sheets, we don't have any problem like that. Yeah. What else? Ludovic created some explosion effects.
Explosion effects. Yeah.
Maybe more. It looks like doesn't look like a medieval fantasy effect. Maybe it's more like a full war game or something.
Yeah, maybe a fireball. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Vietnam
not
flashbacks intensifying.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe for
but
sci-fi
not as
games.
nice explosions as we've seen recently with a rocket launch. So I thought I might recreate that, but I mean,
Rip Blue
such a big
Origin.
explosion. I mean,
Topical.
Cannot recreate this huge fireball.
Yeah, so you can have thousands of this animation, and even for low-end computers, it will work nicely. So there is approximately 200 frames for this explosion in just one texture. I'm going to maybe show the spark. Yeah, this is electricity effect.
Nice.
And there are some options to further customize it.
Yeah, so we have a tint. So let's tint it to maybe green electricity, ecologic. Yeah, so we can have the strength. So if we reduce the strength, I think it affects the size, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Which we try to keep it simple. As you can imagine, there could be like an infinite number of options to configure.
Yeah.
Particle effects, and I guess we don't overwhelm.
So for the assets themselves, I found a free particle sprite sheets to do the demonstration. But I think that artists are interested into this technology. They could really do algorithm animation for particles, and I'm sure you can find flip books to buy. Also, there is a lot, so they are usable, of course.
Yeah. And the idea is not only to limit it to particle effects, of course.
No, of course.
It could be used light sources or other light effects, but we didn't get to that. I mean, it's a complicated thing to.
Feels like
to create
in the limit, everything is a region. Like regions will just keep regions will absorb sounds, and regions will absorb lights, and at the end of the day, everything is regions will absorb tiles, and
yeah, it could be, but yeah, with the sound, if you look at the sound behavior, I'm not sure anyone familiar with our sound API probably knows that but there's like a very tight coupling between coupling with ambient sound documents. So we have some API to spawn a sound, but like I don't think we have API yet to like create something like a programmatically like a sound point source. I don't think we have that, and
you can do it for you can do that for a one-shot sound. But for like a sustain, one-shot sound, this is a little bit of an API gap. Is like a purely programmatic sound source without a document backing it is currently an API gap that we need to fill that for sure.
So I was working on like trying to decouple this a bit, and we can move a lot to the point source or to something else instead, and have the sound be managed there instead of the ambient sound placeable itself.
It's also interesting to think about sounds that might not necessarily be point sources, but that use more of like the shape geometry of the region shapes in different ways. I mean, obviously, like we need to do some things like figure out proximity for the sake of like volume attenuation or something, but like there's different ways we could compute proximity to the region.
Yeah, that's what's happening here actually. Like, so if you enter with your token of the listeners inside the region, it's like basically 100% volume, and near the region, you get like the further you move away from it, more ease, like it goes down to 0 volume, hopefully, or not. But yeah, there's a distance property on the tile on the region behavior, and it controls how far you can hear the sound from.
I changed it.
You increased it.
Yeah, so it was 20 initially.
Yeah. And we also have these the effects fields there, bass effect and the muffled effect. So also tries to, if it's closed. There's some, it's not perfect, but I had to come up with something that, because it's not just a point, like there's no single origin, right? The entire region is the origin of the sound. So it requires a different check to figure out if it's actually muffled or not. Like there could be infinite many rays, right, to the region, and some could be muffled, some could not be muffled. So yeah, and if you unselect the muffled effect, it becomes a bit different. Then we have
So it is
just
here.
Just no effect, and
Oh yeah.
and just, I think you have to unselect it actually, like clear the field. Then we have no muffling, but
I think at that point it's being constrained by walls, maybe the way you have it.
Yeah, then it's
configured.
being constrained by walls. What I wanted to do, I wanted to also ease basically the muffling effect. So because it's not just like really a yes or no muffled, because it's just one single ray we're testing. I wanted to kind of increase or decrease the intensity of the muffle effect, and like have to because like if you move like into the open door space, like the muffle effect instantly kicks in, and if you move like one step to the side or the other way around, just enables or disables. There's no smooth transition between the two states. But it should be possible, but I didn't go that deep.
Put it back to fire. We've got to burn this cabin down. This can be the last FPF that where anyone's allowed to use this map. We say like we're burning it to the ground officially. This is our bonfire day, and crank up the strength and everything. I mean, honestly, let's just let it go.
Oh my goodness.
Let's maybe you move the region to the foreground. Maybe you expand, add some new shapes.
Set fire to the roof.
Let's set fire to the roof.
Oh yes.
Let's
take the roof region.
Yes.
We gotta send this thing on its way. There we go. Yeah, now add some new shapes. Like put the rest of the building on fire. You know the drill.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have a new map next time that's just a burned husk. The gutted ruin of the forest cabin.
Oh my goodness. This is the end of the forest cabin.
Yeah, this is it. Everyone pour one out. Pour one out for this poor map that was never supposed to be used for anything except
it is the FPF demo map,
yes.
definitely.
Rape forest cabin.
Yeah, we will remember them, except we won't, honestly.
The roof should be on fire now as well, so we can just switch to the talk layer.
I have an idea.
I'm already nuking it with explosion effects.
We need smoke. A lot of smoke.
Yeah, I think the original purpose of this map was like when we very first started adding like some measure of elevation and like overhead tiles and like a foreground layer. Like that must have been like version 7 or something. I don't know. If these walls could talk, they'd scream.
Playing the trumpet was a mistake. It activated my poodle.
Yeah, it looks great. It's a very convincing "the house is on fire" effect, Ludovic, that you've put together here.
Okay, nuke now.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is also I think like we wanted to kind of do both, like like play continuous effects and like play just the effect one time. So
It's a good demo, and
like,
you know, to address something that chat was asking about, because of course your frame rate counter in the bottom left is holding very steady there, which is worth noticing as you keep adding more and more and bigger effects. You know, for people in chat asking about like, isn't this gonna, you know, destroy my performance?
0. Yeah, I'm still at my usual high FPS. With video, it will have dropped quite quickly, even with high-end GPU.
What GPU are you running, Ludovic?
NVIDIA RTX 3600.
Yeah, it's the same one I use.
Yeah, with a lot of memory.
All right. Is there anything else you want to show while we have you here in this scene? It's an awesome demo, both of you. Great work.
yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, wonderful.
There's a reason I wanted to
Wondrous.
go before these gentlemen.
Yeah.
Um,
In fact, the most difficult part are always the assets.
Yeah.
Find the good.
Yeah.
We need the good artists.
All right. I think we are now at the point where we're going to go to a break, and then after the break, we're going to do a giveaway. But instead of the usual just AFK screen, I'm going to try and do a video during the break, which I was not able to set up ahead of time. So I'm going to need you all to bear with me as I set this up. And this is because it is Matt's demo for FPF. So while I set this up, Matt, why don't you talk a little bit about what you did for your Free Project Friday?
Sure. So everybody knows that as part of Anniversary Week, we've started releasing our first Learning Foundry VTT series of videos. And the first kind of 6 videos are about installing the game system, creating your world, creating a scene, token vision, all that kind of stuff, and then player's guide. I wanted to do one additional thing that gives you kind of a next step of how to share character sheets with your players, how to give them ownership of actors, journals, how you can share content with them in general, and how you can make sure that you shared things with them correctly by logging in as the player. So this is probably a very simple video for everybody that's going to be in the audience right now. My apologies. And also it's going to end with just black screen for the final 6 seconds because I was literally rendering the video as the stream was starting. So my apologies that it's not fully complete. It will have some more tweaks before it goes up. But we'll now have our 7th, or I guess 8th if you count the overview series, video for the Learning Foundry series. And hopefully it'll go well.
And hopefully my playing of it in the stream, which I've just slammed it into an OBS scene, is also going to go well. If it doesn't go well, I have a fallback plan in mind, but we're going to give this a rip, and hopefully it goes well, and hopefully you all enjoy the world premiere of what's the title of this one, Matt?
This one's sharing content with your players, I think. Work in progress title.
All right, let's give it a go, and we'll be AFK during the video, and when we come back, we will do the giveaway for our stream, and then we've got a couple more demos yet to go. So here we go.
In this video, we're going to learn about Foundry VTT's permission system, give your players access to their character sheet, see how to share handouts with your players, and log in as your players to make sure things are set up correctly. Let's jump right in. In Foundry VTT, every user account has a role. We saw them in our Creating a World video when we were setting up accounts. The options are Player, Trusted Player, Assistant Game Master, and Game Master. You can review and control what each role can do by going to the settings and opening the user permission configuration window. There are some things that only a Game Master and Assistant Game Master level users can do though. One of them is controlling what each user can see in the sidebar and what they can do with it. For example, if you right-click on an actor like Crucible here, you'll see a Configure Ownership option in the menu. Pressing that will let you pick who has access to this piece of content and what they can do with it. The All Players option lets you grant the same ownership level to all the player and trusted player accounts in your world. If you only want to grant it to certain people, you can pick from the list below it. What do the options in the dropdown mean though? None means that the user cannot see this content or make any changes to it. Everything you create defaults to none for all players so you don't accidentally leak important information. Limited works a little differently based on what kind of content it is. Typically, it allows a user to see it in the sidebar and some aspects of its content. This can vary by game system and by what type of content it is, though. Observer allows a user to see everything as if they owned it, but it does not let them make any changes. And Owner gives the user complete access to it, and they can make changes. Since my user Himmel will be playing as Crucible, I'll give Himmel owner permissions on the actor. Let's pop open another window and log in as Himmel for the first time to see what that looks like. I get a prompt to enter some basic details about myself and, most importantly, I can pick which actor I would like to be my main character. Since I've only given Himmel ownership of one actor, that's my only choice. My user Himmel can now see in a scene where I've placed Crucible, open their character sheet, change their name, make roles, use their items, and everything else you would expect. What if Himmel's character Crucible also has a horse for a mount? Just follow the same steps to give Himmel ownership of that actor, and it will automatically appear in their sidebar. If you want to quickly change the ownership of multiple things at once, you can right-click on their parent folder, press Configure Ownership, and select the change you would like to make. A few important notes. This only changes the ownership of the content in the folder at that moment. If I add a new actor in this folder, the player does not automatically get access to it. It does not change the ownership of any content in subfolders. It will grant visibility of any folders necessary to get to the content, but not any other folders or their contents. We can do the same thing for everything else in the sidebar as well. For example, you can give your players ownership of a playlist so they can handle DJ duty, freeing you up to focus on the story, or if you want to give your players a party journal, you can give all players ownership of the journal, and you can give each player an individual journal if you want. One unique aspect of journals is that they're made up of pages, which can have their own ownership settings. So you could even give each player a page in the party journal that only they have ownership of. You can hide those pages from the other users by setting their ownership to none, or let them view but not edit it by making them observers. Another example of how this can be helpful is if you have a handouts journal where you store all of the content that you'll share with your players. You can fill this journal with pages of images, text, or anything else you want. If you give your players observer permissions on this journal and set every page's ownership to none, they'll have access to the journal, but not any of its pages until you decide it's time. As a game master, you can right-click on a page in a journal and select Show to Players. This will pop up a prompt where you can choose to show it to all players or just some of them. You can also choose to give anyone who you show the page to ownership of it by clicking on this drop-down. If you pick Observer or Owner and then press the Show Players button, the page will pop up for everyone you selected, and they'll be able to access it in the Handouts journal going forward. Pretty neat. One thing to note is that scenes are a bit of an exception. You can't change their ownership level. They can only ever be edited by Game Master and Assistant Game Master level users. Players actually don't even have a tab for scenes in their sidebar. You can let players swap between a selection of scenes though. Let's open this scene settings and check out the permission field. It has a show in navigation box that is checked because we have it in our scene navigation up here. If I click the drop down next to it, we can select if only Game Master level users or all players should be able to see this scene when it's in the scene navigation. If I change that to all players, we can see a caret pop up in Himmel's window, and he now has access to both of these scenes. We can see which scene Himmel is in by looking for his pip on the scene's name. An important thing to note about items is that when you put them on a character sheet, their ownership automatically changes to match the actor. So if you give a character a greatsword and a user has observer permissions on that actor, they'll also have observer permissions on the item in the actor. It won't automatically become visible in the sidebar though, only on the actor. The last thing we'll take a look at is compendium packs. They're also a bit of an exception. You can configure ownership of compendium packs, but not at an individual user level. Instead, you can grant ownership of them based on roles. For example, in D&D 5e, pretty much every pack gives the player role observer permission so they can review the rules, grab spells for their character, and more. The trusted player role can inherit from whatever the player role has, or you can give it a higher level like owner. If you ever want to double check what your players can see and what they can't, you can open your browser, enter your local network invitation link, and you'll see your world login screen. Pick the account you want to test, log in, and you'll see everything as if you were that user. As a game master, you can also go to the user management screen and press the login button next to any user to do the same thing. I hope that was a helpful look into how Foundry's permission system works and how you can share things with your players. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions or if there's anything that you'd like us to teach you about next.
Yep.
And we are back. Thank you very much, Matt, for making and sharing that awesome video with us. I missed part of it because I was taking a quick AFK, but I will be eagerly watching it after the stream. Why don't you tell...
I know you keep asking me how ownership works in Foundry, so I'm glad that I can finally get you up to speed on it.
Yeah, I can finally learn. Tell chat a little bit about why you chose that video topic, and maybe a little bit about your process, how you do the videos.
Part of the reason for picking it was a narrow enough scope that I thought I could do it in less than 8 hours. And as you can tell by the fact that I had a black screen at the ending, I just barely did it in under 8 hours. I thought it would make sense to be able to share content with your players right away, because a GM, they'll have a scene set up, they'll have players ready and everything, but they won't actually know how to share anything with them at the end of the current series. So I figured this was a good next step. And if anybody's curious about the process of making them or anything, this was probably the most like my old Encounter Library style like production process. I wrote a script straight through, read it to myself, and then fixed all of the places that sounded super awkward as I was writing them. And then I bulldozed straight into this morning. So apologies if my voice sounds a little rougher in this video, but I recorded that audio at like 8 a.m. this morning, about 15 minutes after I woke up. Record it all in Audacity, and then I play it in VLC while I have Foundry full screened, and I map my movements to what I'm talking about in the video as close as I can after breaking it up into kind of smaller chunks. And then jumping into Premiere to edit it together. If anybody ever does any stuff like this in Premiere, one thing that I can recommend is if you're ever zooming in on part of a video, nest the entire sequence immediately and do all of your keyframes for zooming and panning around in the parent sequence. So that way, if you ever need to go in and
put something like that game master or the player text at the bottom, you can go into the nested sequence, put it there, and then Premiere will automatically handle the like normalization of where that text is supposed to be as you're panning around. I wish I had done that on some earlier videos, because a little behind the scenes for the V14 install video is that it was all recorded in V13. And very, very, very last minute, we went through and took screenshots of what it would look like in V14, and I kind of like surgically placed that stuff over different parts of the video to make it look like it's V14. So if you go through, there's actually a couple places where, especially at the bottom of the Foundry window, you'll see occasional pop-ins of V13 where the screen was shifting as I was going between like administrator password and fully logged in, because they were actually recorded in February. And so also I think you can see the time in the bottom right of at least the Mac OS install video or something. So a little behind the scenes on making those videos.
Fake ass.
But the last thing is that yeah. But if anybody has stuff that they'd like to see or learn how to do, get in the comments about it, because I've got a lot of ideas, but the best way for us to know what y'all want to see is for you to tell us. So we're all ears.
Yeah, thanks very much for that, Matt. And chat, give Matt a round of applause for the video. I had to talk him into sharing it. I got to rat you out on this, Matt. Matt was like, no one watching this stream is going to want to know about how ownership works. These are all people who already know how to use Foundry. No one wants to see this. And then I was like, no, Matt, you got to share what you've made. You got to showcase. That's what today's all about. So yeah, great stuff there, Matt. Thank you very much. All right, let's get into our giveaway for the day. I'm going to switch back to my other scene here. Okay, pop back that, pop back this. All right, I've got a roll table here that we grabbed a little while ago, so it's gone a little bit stale, hopefully not too stale. I've got 151 of you in chat for our giveaway, and we'll draw a trio of winners, so pretty good odds, and we'll give winners their choice of Foundry VTT, A House Divided, and maybe Secrets of Grace. Why don't we do that, since we did some of that in the first... we haven't shown Secrets of Grace in this video, but it is a great new beginner product for playing Pathfinder on Foundry. So I think those are a good set of options to do for giveaways. And then if folks were looking for Ember giveaways, we'll do more of those on Sunday when we do the next Ember stream. But for today, we can do Foundry VTT, House Divided, or Secrets of Grace as prizes for any lucky winners. We'll do 3 of them, and if you're already in the list, I'm going to draw 3 names. If you are a winner, you need to you need to say something in chat to acknowledge and accept your prize. And once we have 3 winners, then we'll continue on with our demos. So without further ado, drum roll, please. And away we go. We've got number 39, Fire Shark 42, number 86, Panic Panda 1618, and number 88, Purple Icky. Fire Shark 42, Panic Panda, and Purple Icky. If you are here and if you wish to accept your prize, say so in chat. And then otherwise, I will... Purple, congratulations. So what you and other winners need to do is send us a DM and connect with us. Send a DM right on Twitch, and we'll get your choice of prize over to you. Panic Panda is offering up a voluntary reroll to the community. That's very generous of you, Panic. Thank you very much, giving someone else a chance to win. I appreciate that. I'll go ahead and do that reroll right now. So the replacement winner is Chaos OS 59. I know who this is, a veteran community member, developer, system developer. Chaos, I don't know. You maybe already have these. Maybe you don't have Secrets of Grace yet. I don't know. Let us know. Chaos is on all pass. All right. Another gracious gesture. We've got another winner coming up. Sogrum105.
Oh, is that one of our helpers?
Maybe. Yeah.
I
think so.
If it's a Let's see if we get an acceptance. We're still looking for something from Fireshark, unless they said something. I don't think so. I think I'm about to drop this shark imposter off the list. There's only one shark here.
Sogrum.
Sogrum is one of our.
Fireshark said reroll. Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you, Fireshark.
You don't have to. You don't have to pass.
Lazytron XL. Everyone passing is making this very hard for me. I do need to give this stuff away so we can move on with the stream. Lazytron XL, you are the winner, number 63. It's becoming a competition of generosity. Nobody wants our stuff. I think that's clear. Nobody wants our.
Yeah.
Nobody wants what we've got.
Fireshark says reroll. Panic Panda re-rolled. And
can't give
Purple
away any of our
Icky
crap.
Said I'm in. Okay, so we got Purple Icky. Purple Icky's the only acceptance so far.
I'm willing to give it one more spin here, but I think we'll. All right, everyone's passing. Everyone's passing. Maybe I've chosen bad prizes. I figured that Secrets of Grace at least was too new to be already on everyone's virtual shelf, but what are you going to do? All right, we'll give it one more spin, and then we'll see what we get. Emily Bjartskular. Emily Bjartskular. That's the, I'm sure, correct and accurate pronunciation. Let's see if we've got a winner here.
It smells a reroll.
I'm losing my patience. I think we've got enough winners. That's what happens when people don't accept. Prizes going to waste.
Chaos OS wants to know if he can unaccept or unreroll.
Unpass. Sure. Yeah. Just put that in my chat log. All right.
And
Chaos OS has
let's
seen.
just slot Sogrum back in, and we'll call it 3.
The path of wisdom, and yeah. All right. Good. Okay. Well, congratulations to the winners. We'll have a few more giveaways to go with the last stream of Anniversary Week, which will be this coming Sunday. I'll be back doing an Ember gameplay showcase, and I'll be giving away copies of Ember, so hopefully that will be of interest to some of you as well. Okay, back to the demo plan. I believe next up is Nath. You have something to share with us.
I sure do, and I sure don't have it ready. Give me a second. I was doing all the giveaway things. Let me hastily just slam the share screen button.
No worries.
Somewhere.
I'll go back to my my full Discord view.
Oops. All right, I think it's shared. Should be good. Should be good.
Yes, we've got a familiar looking scene for anyone who joined our House Divided showcase on Tuesday.
Right. So, thanks to some coding assistance from Ludovic, I was able to actually get something working to show off for this Free Project Friday. Many of the team will tell you that more often than not, I take on ambitious ideas for FPF and then fail to deliver. I'm not a programmer, and it's always a fight. So he gave me the starter framework to make a new type of scene transition that I'll show off in just a moment. And what I did to his code would probably make him weep, but it is fully functional, so I'm going to go with that. What I've done is this.
I like it.
A nice, smooth, animated transition that shows useful, helpful hints at random with a timer based on the average human reading speed, so that you can very easily, as a GM, learn new things that you may not have known about Foundry VTT, and as a player, learn how to use Foundry VTT because your GM changed their campaign and thrust you into a new VTT. The way it currently works is by flags on the scene that detail the hints, and one feature that took me way too long to make it work is for people who already know the hint and don't want to wait for the scene to load, they can click the timer and it goes away. Just like this. Coding that part took me 6 hours. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, very smart, very smart feature.
I don't know if it'll make it into core. They don't often make it into core, but we'll see. There's a code base for it that Andrew can look at and be scandalized by, and we'll
sounds nice.
See what happens. I do have
I like the idea.
One other thing to share. Yes, to answer a question from chat. Two questions from chat. Does it slow down if the scene load takes long? I think they're getting at whether or not it shows for longer scene loads. Generally speaking, switching scenes should be a fairly quick process anyway, so it actually, because the animation is based on reading time, it actually extends the time it takes to switch scenes.
This is something we could adjust, though. We could certainly like run the scene loader in parallel with the hint text, and you could, like, you need both the scene to be loaded and the hint to be completed in order to to progress. But yeah, we could certainly like integrate this with the loading process so that like this is something that happens during loading. Like that would definitely be a path forward.
Lamenia also asks if they understand correctly, users can set up what shows. Yes, developers would be able to extend the list of hints because it's currently set up as just a flag, but it would, I imagine, become a config variable that could just be inserted with new HTML, which would make it very extensible for, say, game systems to provide specific hints for how to do things in their system. There was actually a very old module, I think it was around V8, that offered a similar game hints experience, not so much transitions, but it was like, it used to raise notifications, I think using the UI notifications menu to do it. But with the new V14 scene transitions, it made it really kind of fluid. The other thing I wasn't going to show because it's not directly Foundry related, is something I've been working on in my off hours. One of our community members was bullying me on stream the other day in chat to share if there's any progress with my personal game system project. Yes, over the past few weeks, I've gotten back to working on it. It's definitely not ready to go into Foundry yet, but the writing has continued, and I'm sitting at around a 40,000 word guidebook that I've been using a HTML editor to work on. Yes, Farrago lives. It is a card-based game system that will hopefully one day become playable in Foundry VTT, coded by someone who is way more responsible a programmer than I am. But the rules are in fact viable for play, and it's in play testing again now. I've been using this really nice anime.js animation suite, which is my Foundry VTT tie-in, because I learned about anime.js's existence from the Crucible system, and it's now available in V14 for people to use. So as you're seeing on screen, where the text is animating in as I switch pages, that's an anime.js feature that you could theoretically use on Foundry VTT journals to roll out these nice CSS transitions keyframed through anime.js. Is Farrago a closed beta, or is there a test doc somewhere? It's very closed. It is a very closed alpha, I would say, not beta. But I'm going to be running some test games over the next few months with a very select group of people. I'm personally hoping that people get a chance to experience it. I'd like to one day release it, but there's a lot of work to be done on, writing. Writing takes time. The setting documents is what we're up to now. The game rules are pretty much all in place. It's a class-based fantasy archetypal setting. One day, I hope to bring it to everyone.
Very, very cool. It's looking beautiful.
I've played it.
Thank you.
Pretty sure. A long time ago.
Yeah, I did.
Played
I
it, right?
did demo it as a free project Friday to the team. V10 would have been when I last had a viable system. Right.
I think Zell's
that's it for me.
trolling you in chat a little bit there, Nath.
Is this a D20 system? You know better. Everyone on the team and the community helpers and anyone who has heard me speak about my hatred for D20 systems knows that this is most definitely not a D20 system. It's a card-based system. All gameplay happens using cards. There are no dice.
When
Do
you
you
need to make a roll, you draw one of 20 cards, and depending on the card that you draw. A C20 system?
Nope.
All right.
It's a 52 card deck per player.
Ooh, exciting. Thank you very much, Nath.
All right, that's what I got.
For those demos. That's really, really cool stuff. Great work. All right, let's pop this back over here. And I believe, let me just double check. Yes, I believe I get to go next and to close us out for today. As with Kim, I have a couple of things to demo. But yeah, just one second. All right. Yeah, I've got a couple of things to demo, and they are Crucible specific. And so I've been working on the Crucible system for Free Project Friday, but some of the things that have been developed as part of this are nice prototypes for things that Core Foundry could have, or that any other game system could also draw inspiration from. So I've got 2 small demos and then one that will be a little bit more involved. The small demos first. Let me adjust my audio here. All right. The small demos first. The first one is actually a Kim special, and so I'm more presenting this on behalf of Kim, but as you saw earlier in the stream, Kim did a great job implementing some features in D&D, which Kim then graciously contributed to Crucible as well. So here, when we're in a multi-level scene, I've got 2 players and an adversary, and we're looking at the lower level of the scene. There's certain visual transformation here, and then if I look at the upper level, the scales of these characters are adjusted somewhat for whether they are in the upper view or the lower view. That is the first little simple thing, is just that elevation-based visual scale adjustment, and that is necessary in order to support a visual representation for the falling mechanic that Kim also contributed to Crucible. So the way that works, and there's a little bit of Crucible stuff that is incremental to what Kim already showed, so I can show a few new things. If these characters are in a combat encounter, so that their movement is actually formally tracked, that is something that is necessary for this demo. Imagine this character jumps off of the ledge here and is jumping into use of the flying action. So if they make this movement where they move using the fly action, and then that movement's confirmed, at the end of when that action is confirmed, they automatically gain the flying status. Sorry, that other status was left over from before. They automatically gain the flying status because they've ended their move performing a fly. Similarly, if they were to move down to ground level, and for example, imagine that this is they're no longer flying because they're now on the ground, so you can see that status automatically disabled. Suppose we're now down on the lower level of the scene. Oops, I somehow got my elevation mixed up. But anyways, yeah, I'm down on the ground now, and if I make a move this time using the burrow action, now this creature can't burrow, but you can imagine if it was a burrowing creature, you perform a movement using the burrow action, and when that movement's confirmed, you end your turn with the burrowing status that applies all of the effects of that status, like for example, removing the token from view of other creatures because you're now, under the ground. So yeah, just some cool little automation of ways to record movement state in between actions. So if I make a move out of the burrow, then I automatically lose the burrow status at the conclusion of that move. So that's just a nice little sort of tasteful integration of some of those things that Kim contributed and got, wired together a bit. Next thing that I have a quick demo.
I'm glad that the flying works, because I was in a bit of a hurry and I didn't test that. So I'm glad.
It's okay. I did test it. I did test it after merging to make sure. All right. The next thing I want to show is, suppose I'm now back up on the upper paths here. So I'm 20 feet above the ground. I'm on this ledge. And suppose I were to jump off the ledge, just maybe it could be a walk, or I could even use the specific, I think there's a jump. Is it this one? I could use the specific jump action. I jump into the air. I jump into the midair. Oh, I lack enough action. All right, let me give give myself my action points back so that I can show that. All right, I'm gonna jump. I'll clear this so it's not a mess. I'm gonna jump into the air now that I have action points to do it. I will make the leap, and I jump into midair. When that action gets confirmed, I automatically enter the falling state, and as the game master, I'm prompted whether or not this creature should fall or not. So this is like just a different Crucible specific workflow compared to the D&D one that Kim demoed earlier. But as the GM, if I confirm that yes, okay, this creature is falling, then it rolls the consequences of that fall, including whether it's resisted by reflex or damaging or whatnot, and that of course causes the creature to fall down and land on the ground and suffer that damage and everything else. So, and I can, of course, as you can with any action in Crucible, you could reverse that if it was, for example, accidentally misplayed. So that handles the automation of like you've ended your move in a space that you can't stand on. You've ended your move off of a surface that you can no longer be on, and so you have to fall down to something below you, and it handles the automation of that in a very graceful way. So now if I were, for example, and that error is expected because I can't reverse, unreverse, reverse, that's something that I need to maybe fix up. But now so now I'm on the ground here. Let's show one last cool little fun thing. My spellcaster here, hopefully I have them set up right. Yep, hopefully this demo works. We'll see. This is another little fun demo. Suppose my spellcaster here is on the, on the upper paths as well, and suppose it's their turn. Another fun thing we can do is we'll target this spider, and we're going to cast a spell here that involves some forced movement automation. Kim also showed something like this, but there's a different way to automate this in Crucible. This one is me. This one's not a Kim port, but it works a little bit differently in Crucible. So suppose we cast a spell and we'll do like a flame arrow, but we'll add the oh shoot, I only have pull. I want push for this demo. Let me swap their talent tree real quick. Never mind the fact that I'm changing talents mid-combat. That's just... let it loose from your memory, as if it never happened. So we'll do a flame arrow with the push gesture, a repellent arrow of flame. And I've actually hit with this arrow, and so that's good. And so if I confirm it, hopefully this works. Ah! I've pushed the spider, but not very far, and don't mind the other bits. I mean, I probably should have pushed the spider a little bit further. I was hoping it would push it far enough to cause it to fall, but I think it hasn't quite reached the falling state. So, anyways, I won't rehash the demo, but I thought that it would cause it to fall. It hasn't quite done that, but you can imagine that my push was a little bit further, and I pushed the spider off the edge, and then with sort of chain reaction to causing it to fall down to the ground. So, work in progress, some things still to stitch together, but you can see how the component pieces of that automation are just about in place. Okay, so those were some quick lightning round demos of like mini things that I worked on. I have one thing that's the centerpiece though of my Free Project Friday. I want to clear the chat.
The chaining and everything is it's very cool. It's very sophisticated.
Yeah.
Very easy to work with as well. You just kind of just write your data and it just works. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you. Nath, before I switch this, can you confirm, you grabbed a note of who the giveaway winners were before I clear this?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Wait. Yes, I have them.
Okay, cool. All right, let me go to a different scene now, which is the main centerpiece of my demo. Okay, the main thing I was working on for Free Project Friday is Crucible's long foretold and promised but not yet existent spell effects animation system. And I can show some significant progress on that today. Of course, not all spells in Crucible are animated yet. That's a pretty Herculean effort. There's at least, even just using the basic composed spells system, there's over 200 different composed spells that you can cast. So for them to each have a interesting animation is going to be a significant bit of work. But I have some cool progress to show. So here in my test arena, both my player characters and some example adversaries that I've arranged here, they all have a status effect on them called Test Dummy, and this is so that they don't take any actual damage or die, because I'm going to be inflicting a lot of misery on them now, and I don't want them to keel over, and I don't want to run out of action points. So I've given myself unlimited action economy, and I've made it so that these don't actually take any real damage, so I can do some demoing of different spells on them. All right, I'm going to actually turn off the music. I'll leave the environment on just a little bit for ambience, but I'll take the music away because I want you to be able to hear the audio component of these as well. So for you in chat, and for those of you on the team watching, I'm going to go through and showcase spells I've made, and you can kind of give me the scorecard of the Olympic judges with the 1 to 10 of which ones have a good animation and which ones need further work. A reminder for those of you who maybe don't know as much about Crucible, spells in Crucible work by composing a spell by combining a rune, which is the essence of magic that's being used, a gesture, which is the form factor, the shape that magic manifestation takes, and then optionally an inflection, which is like a meta magic twist that changes the way that the spell functions. Now I'm going to ignore meta magic inflections for now, but we're just going to focus on rune and gesture combinations. So I've implemented animation for 3 runes and 4 gestures. So I've got 12 spells in total that I've produced animations for. And the system underlying it is very nice. It's very robust. It's very scalable. So the process for defining animations for more spells is going to... I've figured out a lot of things doing this, and so the architecture of it is something that I can definitely scale and keep extending. Now, I also need to give credit where credit is due. I've gotten some good help with this Free Project Friday from Drew, one of the artists on our team who works on Ember. Drew has helped me with particle assets for these spell runes. So as Ludovic was saying during Ludovic and Eber's demo, a lot of this is conditional on having the artistic resources needed. I got some help on that front so that they look nice. I also got some wonderful help from Ian, Tabletop RPG Music, who does all of the audio and music and sound design on Ember. So we've got a sound component for these spells as well that is very satisfying to see it all come together. Okay, without further ado, the gestures that I've automated, I have arrow, fan, ray, and blast. And then the runes that I've automated, I have frost, flame, and life. So I don't have lightning yet. This character knows it, but I don't have lightning spells yet. Okay, so why don't we start out with arrow, because it's a little bit of the most sort of basic expression. So I'll shoot a flame arrow at the Vorg, and we'll see how that looks. So, of course, we make our dice roll, and then the way that this works under the hood is that when the action is used, the VFX configuration of that action is determined by the using player. And that VFX configuration is serialized and stored with the action so that it goes to all players, who then experience the same animation. So there is a deterministic animation that all clients will see the same spell effect, and they see the spell effect when the spell is confirmed. So when I confirm this arrow of flame, here we go. All right, let me know how was the volume level there, if that came through clearly on the stream. I'll go again. I'm going to maybe crank up the environment volume slider a little bit, just so they're a little bit more punctuated. All right. So that's our arrow of flame. If I back up a little bit so that you see a little bit more of its trajectory, it kind of flies on a slight S-curve. Here's an example where I've backed up and the spell has actually been resisted. So it does not actually hit, and you'll see visually and you'll hear auditorially that there is a difference between the hit and the non-hit. So you see the resist, we get this kind of, it poofs out into smoke. It did not actually take hold, dealt no damage. We'll try one more arrow of flame. We got a hit this time. All right, there you go. One cool thing that you have for testing this is for the GM on every chat card, there is a replay animation feature, which you can, for all of your players at will, you can replay the animation as many times as you want, just for the satisfaction of seeing it a couple of times. And it doesn't like repeat the damage or anything. It's just a visual replay of the visual effect. So that is Arrow of Flame. And of course, the creature's taking 0 damage because I set them up to be invulnerable. All right. Let's show some of the other arrow types. So the next one up is an Arrow of Frost. Here we go. So we get a gathering of ice particle shards, and then we fire off our projectile, which sticks into the target for a moment before dissipating. That's our frost arrow, and of course if I do that again, maybe that one's a critical hit, so I can show with a critical hit we actually get a bigger sort of shake on the target, which is a nice little integration point. Critical hit produces a little bit of a bigger impact shake. Another critical hit. Let's see if I can get a
gathering.
I'll stack some really make gains.
Because otherwise you just get like a little arrow.
Yeah, the gather helps for sure. So if I get a miss, here's a miss. You can see like tink, the ice shard kind of fails to deal any meaningful damage to the target. So you get different sound, different look. You get the synchronization with the scrolling text. This is another thing that I worked kind of hard to achieve. So of course Crucible had scrolling text already, but as part of the animation work, I've integrated the display of scrolling text with the animation timeline for the visual. So the text that displays over the target is synced with the animation, so the scrolling text happens when the moment of impact occurs. All right, I've got one more arrow to show, which is a life arrow. So life is, of course, a mostly restorative healing rune. So let's show how the Arrow of Life looks. Oh, did I do something wrong? Oh no, I might have my first casualty of the demo. I might have to come back to Arrow of Life or skip it. I think I've hit a casualty of the demo that I'll have to look into.
Happens to the best of us.
In a moment. All right, I'll see if I can come 0 of 10 for Arrow of Life, unless I can figure out during a slight interlude what may have caused that. So let's move on. 0 of 10 for the Arrow of Life. We'll try and come back to it later. All right, next up, we'll move on to our. Should we do Fan next or Ray?
Wait, Andrew, pull me to the scene. I want to see you in Foundry. I'm logged in.
You'll get there. I promise you'll get there. We're gonna have a fun showdown in a minute, Shark. But let's do let's do the rays next. Okay, I'll assemble these creatures as if they are kind of in a formation that would be opportune for a ray type AoE. Hopefully I don't hit the same bug for the life ray. Let's try the life ray first and see if this bug affects all life spells or if it's something more ephemeral. We'll try the ray of life and we'll see if I can heal these targets. So this is where things get kind of cool with the system. The animation framework is fully integrated into scene regions and the shape data that regions use to define their geometry. So when I use the action, I place the region, and the region geometry is what is a direct input into the VFX framework for defining the particles and the other filters and status effects and stuff. Okay, let's see. Okay, I was able to roll a ray of life, so it seems to be something specific to the life arrow. If I show the animation here. Nice. All right, so we kind of channel life, vitalic essence around the caster. There's roots and plants growing, and then the vines reach out across the ground and bless the targets that they reach with a restorative boost of healing magic. And you see the cool timing of the staggering of how the impact of the scrolling text and the impact animation of like the impact particles, how those are staggered so that they hit the target at the right moment that the ray reaches them. Okay, then next up on the ray palette, I've got the Ray of Frost. So we'll blast this line of creatures with my Ray of Frost. All right, this one's kind of like you gather up the energy, and then it's sort of the like Dragon Ball Z blast of icy shards that sustain this beam that hits all of the creatures. And one cool flourish of this effect that if you look closely, you look at the ground underneath it, there's like a sort of marching advancement of like frost shards that kind of go out from the target over the course of the spell animation. So there you go. That's Ray of Frost. Entered the arena. Keep the votes coming, folks. Appreciate the scoring. It's good for me to know what can be better. Next up is Ray of Flame. All right, let's do our Fire Ray. This was my cryptic hint that we'll be burning things in this demo. We roll that. We've got 4 hits. Here we go. All right, so in the Ray of Flame, it's kind of like a jet of fire that goes out quickly across the ground, and then once it's reached its full extent, the whole thing combusts. And the final combustion is the point of damage to each of the creatures. Now, this is an interesting example because like each of these spells has a somewhat different animation, but the framework that's been created here means that each of them can be assembled from a very robust set of underlying animation types. And so we can mix and match and very quickly assemble, we can reasonably assemble a animation effect by sampling, like I want this animation with this shape, with this, flourish on it. And it's very modular, which is necessary because of the kind of extent of the possibilities of all of the different types of things that can happen in the Crucible system with spells. All right, those are the rays. Let's try some of the. Let me demo the fan gesture. Hopefully this is not boring anyone, but I know it's a little bit of a long demo. All right. The next one up is I have the fan gesture, so I'll stay with flame first. and I'll do so I place my my arc for the fan, and it's gonna hit these 3 creatures. So here's my fan of flame. All right, fan of flame is a kind of classic like flamethrower back and forth. So we swipe the flamethrower first one way and then the other way, and we kind of get all of our targets with our flamethrower blast.
I'm a big fan.
Big fan of the fan of flame. Yeah, the fan ones are pretty good. All right, good. Next one up to demo is the fan of frost. So again, I get three hits, 3 creatures that are affected by this particular spell. And here we go. So that one's a much more sudden. There's like no wind up. It's like a sudden kind of, you gesture your hand and there's ice shards, jagged ice shards that spray out in a wave in front of you. And there's kind of this like little advancing tidal wave of frost that expands out as the shards go past. So here's the ray of frost once again, or the fan of frost. All right. Next one that I have is the life fan. Hopefully this one works. All right, yeah, this one. Okay, I've healed all 3 targets. Here's my life fan. It's a gather up, and there's like 6 yo-yo discs of life energy that kind of go out and come back, and each one bursts into kind of a poof of like leaves and restorative healing bubbles. So there you go. That's the fan of life. Life's a tricky one to figure out how best to animate, I think. Fire and ice are obviously a little bit more, a little bit more straightforward. Yeah. All right, last up, I'm going to back up here, and we're going to do some of the blast demos. So sticking with the life theme, I'll start with the Vital Blast. Vital Blast is this is a higher level gesture, so you can't get this at right away at level 1, but we'll get the blast going, and I get all 4 of these targets. I got 2 hits, 1 critical, 1 hit, 2 resistances. So here goes the Vital Blast. All right, you sort of that's maybe a little too strong on the caster's gather there. I'm just noticing some visual notes for myself there, but the Vital Blast, you kind of sustain the charge, and you create this sort of whirling vortex of verdant life energy that swirls around and heals each of the targets. One of the things that I did that may not be so noticeable is one of the challenges I had with life is it didn't really feel right to have like a recoil when something's hit by a heal. Like you're not like recoiling like, ow! It's like, oh, thank you for the healing. And so I needed to do something a little bit different for the healing impact. If you see, there's a lot going on, so it might not be too noticeable, but there is a filter, sort of pink filter healing flash. It's a little easier to show on a different gesture, like the arrow or something. But I did do like a glow filter on the target as part of the impact. I'm going to still keep playing with it, how best to do like a, yay, I've been healed.
You should
sort of
do a... I have a suggestion.
Come back to it in just a second. Let me show the last 2, and then happy to take notes from the audience and from the team. Icy Blast. This one I went with kind of a classic ice storm kind of falling shards of ice look. So here we go. You conjure these falling chunks of ice from above that cover the area and kind of hit all of hit all of the targets in the area with this sort of sustained, jagged hail. So there you go. That's the Icy Blast. I've tried to sell the falling idea by having them shrink in size and get a little darker when they hit the ground, but I think like there might still be a little work needed to sort of sell the, you know, it's falling kind of look. It's tough from top down. All right, last one that I have is, of course, the Flame Blast, and I haven't tried to be too clever with this. It's just kind of what it says on the tin, really. Big blast of fire. Here we go. Roll it, and here's our Flame Blast. All right, so you just throw a fireball, and the whole thing blows up on the area. Didn't want to overcomplicate that one. All right, one cool thing I want to show before I take notes from chat. One thing that I really like about this, and hopefully this works, hopefully my demo plays nicely with me. Imagine there were walls here where these creatures were in a room and the others were behind the wall. So obviously you just have to imagine the visual. But when I do my Flame Blast, I'm using the wall constraints for where you can place this blast. And that also plays into the visual effect that's produced. So if I... Oh, maybe not. I thought it was. I thought we were getting the masking right here. But anyways, I'll revisit that. That might have been a little regression in some of my testing. But I guess on the upside, you do notice that only the two properly affected targets were hit. So we didn't actually incorrectly hit the other two skithers. But I do need to restore the wall masking for the actual blast effect. But I had that working, and now it's not. So I'll get that back back added at some point soon. Okay, so that's a demo of everything that I made. I want to see, while I'll maybe take a couple questions or thoughts from the team, and while I do that, I think I know very quickly how I can fix the life arrow. So I'll see if I can do that while people ask a couple questions.
So yeah, the suggestion I was going to make for the impact of the life animation, I know you mentioned you have a glow effect. Wasn't super noticeable, but what you could do is kind of a sweep with the glow. So like, instead of just having it be a fading glow, do a sweep so that it just washes over the target. And because the life effects you've been using have kind of a ground up look, you could wash it from bottom to top of token, which could give you that verdant life feel you're looking for.
Yeah, that would be cool. I like that idea, and maybe something along those lines could be doable. With this. Let me see if I've fixed the life arrow or not, or whether it's still not working. Yeah, it did roll that time. Okay, so here's a resisted life arrow, so unsuccessful healing. And then if I do hopefully a successful life arrow. Oh yeah, interesting. I do actually see on the impact there, something is wrong with that filter. It's going black instead of going to that very glowy pink. This is another thing that must have regressed in the midst of my testing. I had this impact filter being like a bright pink, but as you can see it's like a black shadow when it hits. So imagine that glow shadow when it hits is more of like a vibrant, vitalic kind of pinkish energy. So that's what's envisioned there. It of course doesn't look right with the black, but yeah. So there you go. That's the arrow of life. So while I have a few other questions from chat, I did want to do something kind of fun and just see if we could break this. We probably can. Spoiler alert, we probably can break this. So I've got Shark and Matt and Dan and Nath to join into the world. And I've got some randomized spellcasters for each of you. Or maybe Kim? I don't know. Yeah, there's 5 people. 5 people joining. Okay, whoever's joining, join in. I've got characters for each of you. I need to change your... I didn't change your prototype token names. Rookie mistake, Andrew. And what I want to try is to just see how nuts we can get if we have like 5 people just like all throwing spells all over the place at the same time. Because I, of course, was only testing this by myself. And so I've got 2 matadors. I need a Saint Willem. Saint Willem van Texas. All right, so
I'm gonna get people into the demo real quick because they lost the link.
Yeah. Everyone can get into the demo, and I'm just gonna put some targets all around here as things that can be hit. And of course, you can friendly fire each other as well. There's no rules. There's no turn order. We're just all going at the same time. And what you can do in the macros bar, so if you watch my stream, I meant to set these up ahead of time, but I didn't have time to. If you have a spell that you particularly like, so say you're a fan of the Flaming Blast, if you configure that spell in the dialogue, you can drag the icon of it down to the hotbar so that you can have just like immediate access to throw fireballs everywhere. So you can start macroing up your preferred favorite spells so that you have them quick to hand. And we're not doing any turn order here. This is not supposed to be rules as written. The goal here is to make as much spell effects as we can make at the same time and just see whether it works or not. Because it's probably going to not work, but it might work. I don't know.
I can't see anyone's token name, so I don't know who to target out of spite.
Let me see what...
Hey.
Hold Alt.
You should...
There's no hover for player?
Yeah, you don't have ownership of the others. So let me give people like limited visibility of each other or something. But I mean, does it really matter who you're targeting at the end of the day?
Well, who's Nath?
Nath is an actor.
I believe Nath is Ben Affleck.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I outed you. So there's no rules. I'm just waiting to see.
I picked Ben Affleck.
I'm waiting to see things start to explode. You may all fire when ready. This is when they tell me, "Oh, I've been using spells the whole time and nothing's working." We'll see. We'll watch our frame rates.
I don't know how to cast a spell. I thought it'd be in the spell
cast
sheet.
Spell button.
I don't see a cast spell button.
On your character
sheet.
On your character sheet, under your favorite actions. All right, and don't use the lightning rune because that one doesn't have any animations yet. Whoever's casting lightning spells, stop that. I'll handle all the confirmations so you all can focus on generating spells as fast as possible. Needs more button mashing. I could put auto confirm on. I would have to reload, but that would maybe be a good a good worthwhile thing. Yeah, let's try that. Let me switch to auto confirm all actions. There you go. Good call, chat. Good call. Now we're getting more real time. Ah, the brutality. I feel like you all can go.
I'm
go
noticing
faster. There we go. Now we're cooking.
I'm noticing an issue.
What's the issue? I'm sure there's issues, by the way.
Well, trying to change dropdowns is making, I think, is being interrupted by other people changing their dropdowns.
Before the demo started, they asked for names, and I picked Ben Affleck. So if you're playing Ben Affleck, that's what's happening.
No, I'm actually playing an actor.
Oh, right. I'm not having this issue.
I am also.
I noticed it. I think when
I don't even know what it is. I'm
Oh,
on
gosh.
GM account.
Next time I need to get everyone else in here. We need at least 2 more.
Yeah.
We need at least 2 more spell slingers here to maximize spell volume.
We can get Michael in here.
It's pretty good though.
Is my if I strike with my magical staff, is that just a staff bonk?
It is a ranged thing, but it's not animated yet for talisman attacks. Y'all are getting my frame rate to drop down to like 115, so that is like some amount of movement to it, which is pretty good. I mean, this is a pretty big scene. Okay, there we go. 70 FPS. That was good. Whoever did all of those spells that quickly, that was good. This is what we're looking for now. Oh my gosh. The humanity. I think the ice blast is the most taxing one. So whoever's spamming that one is making some real headway.
That's my favorite because it's exactly like the Blizzard spell in Diablo 2. So I just feel like I'm playing D2 right now.
Gotta farm those uniques. All right. Well, I think this is like pretty effective first test. Considering that I didn't have any other players to test this out, I was a little bit worried about like how would the multiplayer aspect look, but this is pretty satisfying.
Looks great. Yeah.
One of the ideas that I would like to do at some point for a stream is like a battle royale kind of thing with like an Ember-sized giant map and having like 20 different players in it all during their turns getting to cast spells like this would look super sick.
All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, without further warning, disable all of your invulnerability. The last player standing wins. You better run away if you're in a bad spot. Someone better clear out of there. Ben Affleck's taking some real damage right now. You have healing spells. Something's weird with Matt's movement that is causing it to like desync from the token, but other people aren't doing that. So there's an interesting bug there. I have to figure out.
I'm out of action.
System.
Oh yeah, you're out of action now too. Well, you can cheat. And
I'm accidentally casting healing magic. What am I doing?
You can manually refill your action pool. Just feel free to cheat on that. Ben Affleck's over there healing himself up. Oh, Nork just ate a flame blast to the face. Brave Ben Affleck ran away.
There's my action points. That's where I need to look. Okay, got it.
Everyone's trying to figure out how to how to keep themselves alive.
I healed people and then I shot a ray that wasn't quite long enough to hit my enemy.
Someone just got
Whoops.
crit by an ice blast. Yeah, I really am curious what's happening with some of these tokens that get like a little bit like desynced from their hitbox position. It just happened with Nork's token now. Must be something to do with the movement confirmation flow. Obviously, for a disclaimer for the chat, like, we're not trying to use Foundry VTT for like real-time PvP, so like this is not like an actual legitimate goal for the software. It's just a fun little diversion. But it is kind of fun, like with auto confirmation of actions on.
Foundry VTT esports win.
Oh, no, it's too easy to cheat. You can't do anything truly competitive, but it's kind of fun with auto. Oh, St. William, he's getting bursted down. St. William's, he's on his last legs. St. William's in trouble. St. William's in trouble. Oh, I think he's at 1 hit point.
I have 1 hit point left.
St. Willem is taking wounds.
Oh, yeah.
Cue the Willem scream.
Well, there you go. We don't necessarily have to see this through to its fatal conclusion, but y'all are really you're missing the true opportunity to cheat, which is stacking 6 boons on every spell that you cast, so that you like mega crit on them. You gotta stack.
Could have watched the Crucible stream. I screwed up.
All right. Well, thank you all for the true opportunities to add back the invulnerability.
Now I'm booming.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you all for helping to test my rough draft, but pretty functional. Pretty happy with it. And the goal will be to continue expanding this with support for new runes, new gestures, and then of course also non-spellcraft actions. We don't want the melee characters in the party to feel left out, so we'll try and have some nice, satisfying, punchy animations for big like two-handed weapon cleaves and fast dual-wield attack chains and whatnot. So lots to do, but I think the built-in animation system is definitely a key part of the eventual system vision for Crucible. So hope you all are looking forward to that, and I do expect that this will be in the next system update. Nath, I like your hiding place. Very, very sneaky. Very good tactics. Good tactics. I think this will be in the next system update. And just let it rip for everyone out there to have fun with and play with and help me catch bugs and help suggest improvements. And I think, no promises on exactly when, but I think Drew is planning to do the death rune particles next. So for all you edgelord necromancers out there, we'll have some like awesome unholy magic in the next one that we get. So yeah, there you go. That's the demo. Thank you all very much. I'm going to switch back to our full screen Discord view. Yes, good job. Well done. Discord full. Go. Thank you all for bearing with me for that somewhat lengthy escapade. But I was looking forward to that. Thank you all for helping me pull that off. All right, I think that's all we've got for FPF this anniversary week, but I really appreciate you all in chat sticking with us and enjoying all the fun projects and all of your feedback and support. And just a reminder about the rest of the anniversary schedule. Tomorrow will be another one of Matt's video series posted. And then on Sunday, to wrap up the end of Anniversary Week, I will be back here on Twitch with a Ember gameplay stream that will be doing a kind of speed run simulated demo through what it's like to play a quest in Ember, so that you can get a little bit more firsthand exposure to like how the Ember gameplay loop works and what gameplay is like when playing Ember. So we'll probably do that in Crucible as well, so there'll be a little bit of Crucible side dish on that Sunday stream, but it'll be mostly focused on how Ember works. And I hope to see you all back then for that. And then a reminder that we have our anniversary sale going on throughout this period, both for software licenses, which are 20% off, as well as a huge bundle of premium content on our official marketplace, which is all 20% off as well. So there's a great chance to load up on all kinds of great stuff, including our own games that we've made, Demon Queen Awakens, House Divided. There's D&D premium content on sale for the first time ever. There's Pathfinder content on sale. There's content on sale from a ton of our different publisher partners on the marketplace. So there's really something for everyone. Encourage you all to check it out and pick up something that you love. It helps support us. It helps support publishers making good things in this space. And yeah, any parting thoughts, comments, jibes, slander from the team?
They're really excellent demos from everyone.
Yeah,
I had a ton of fun.
excellent.
I always look forward to these.
All right, good stuff. Yeah,
It's
thank you all
really
very much
exciting.
for doing the demos. Thank you all in chat for watching, and we will see you next time, and that will be on Sunday. So until then, farewell, goodbye, happy gaming.
Bye, everybody.
See you next time.
Bye bye. Bye bye.